Welcome to part 3 of Setting the Record Straight. As you know, Russ and I have got together to put these videos together because we know Art. I've known him for about 5 years now, and we've obviously seen all the rumours that are flying around, some true, not true. People make their own opinions, and the idea of this video is to try and clear some of the confusion up.
All right, we're live.
I'll just make myself a cup of tea.
We can cut all this out. We're just getting ready.
And we're trying to deal with facts, not hearsay. So it is taking us a little bit longer to put together than we expected. We are doing it weekly, so these videos you see we're putting out, we probably record on a Monday. At the moment it's nearly 2 o'clock on Thursday in the UK, so I'm trying to put this together so it goes out later on, so it'd be around midnight our time and 6 p.m. Central Time.
Well, we started out with Twin City Ridley, and it was a very small dealership. It was only 800 square feet, and we did that for about 3 years. Started out with Indian motorcycle during the Kings Mountain era. It's an era that has been shunned by corporate, but it was probably the most fun era for me.
So we do have some other people lined up to join us that have got history and were part of this story, and we're also putting it out there to invite others onto the show to put their point of view over. Doesn't matter if it's good or bad, we're trying to look at the story as a whole. One reason why I wanted to start this, I wanted to show a bit more history about Indian Bike Week, how it became about, the passion that Art's put into this. I've seen it for the last 4 years, and I think the people that actually attend know what I'm talking about when I say it is one big family.
I was the very first person to be interviewed by Kings Mountain to become a dealer.
I felt personally the need to put this together
because I think what interests me a lot was obviously you had the Ridley, wasn't it? Then you had added Titan to it, Royal Enfield, and then the Gilroy. So
yep, and also CF Moto, Q-Link.
Some of these stories may be true and twisted to make them look worse than they really are, and some may be completely false.
Whose idea was it to have Indian only ride and start the docuseries?
Well, I started with just Indio, right? And that was kind of like the beginning of documenting some of the stuff that I was doing for the event. So this next year will be obviously Indio 10. So I got 10 years of doing that. Now, so I kind of morphed that into Indian Bike Week, because Indian Bike Week actually started in 2016. If anybody ever comes back at me and says, well, you weren't doing Indian Bike Week in 2011. No, I started Indio, but it morphed into Indian Bike Week. And so to me, those are the roots of Indian Bike Week from what I started with Indio 1.
The intention is to put this series together with facts, evidence, and invite people to join in so you have the chance to have your say.
Experienced the same thing with the Kings Mountain, but it was the fun era with them, and they were really positive in letting us use the logos the way we wanted to. Sometimes they'd ask us to make a few changes, but it was never a tug of war, not like it was with Polaris.
We will try and link to some of the Indios so our timeline fits in with those. So if you want to look at more of the information and get a feel of what was happening at the time, you'll be able to go over on YouTube and look at the Indios rides when it started, then when it turned to Indian Bike Week.
With the Indian only ride, which you started, that started first. So it was just at the tail end of Kings Mountain.
Yes.
So in us doing this, it has created some interest. And it's quite interesting, some of the stuff that's coming out the woodwork at the moment.
What year was it that the you started having the issues at the dealership then?
Well, I started having issues when I had a guy named Ted Smokestead being our regional manager. We didn't see eye to eye. They wanted to control all the marketing, and we sold more bikes than everybody. I think for sure, besides Sturgis, I still hold the record for just a singular dealership of 253 demo rides in on a weekend. 253. So I've always had my event, even Indian Bike Week after Sturgis. And so they brought the truck and trailer. And then, of course, Ted Smokestead and I had a big blowout. I've always had my way of marketing things. I'm more of a guerrilla tactic marketer, where these guys were very subtle. It is my opinion that there are smaller companies that do better marketing than they do.
So you've got this general manager. So was that the beginning cracks of how things started to dissolve for you in the dealership?
That didn't happen until the end of 2015. This guy walks in. We had literally just hired this guy, and he came in with this bucket of peanuts. At that time, I should have taken the hint that this guy was trouble. He was walking around with this bucket of peanuts, and he was asking people if they wanted to touch his nuts.
So I have to know, did you touch his nuts?
No, I definitely didn't touch his nasty nuts, man. That guy was bad news. We can go deeper into that later, and I can show you how dirty this guy was, but he was bad news for the dealership.
One thing I'd want to try to stay away from is hearsay as much as possible. This is actually how you started losing it because of these people, or there's more to it, right?
It was a mix of things as to why I lost the dealership, but it was mainly due to misinformation that was given. I had separated from my wife at the time, and so I started dating somebody else. And some stupid story got out that I was suing some girl. I don't know why it made national news, but it did as well. What they didn't say in the article was that not only was she married, but she also had another boyfriend, and she was trying to take me for all the money she could.
I had a guy riding with us this past weekend. So how many of your people are coming to Indian Bike Week? And I said, well, he is. I go, turn to this guy and say, hey, are you going? He's like, you know the answer to that. I go, I don't think I do. Why is he? He goes, and he starts rattling off all this shit. All the same bullshit everybody says. He's just going on and on and on. And I go, dude, I said, do you know anything? I mean, like, can you back any of this up? Because it sounds to me like it's the same crap. And then when I don't believe it, and I'm telling you, it was so funny. When I'm like, well, I know Art personally, and I know a lot of this, what you're saying is all hearsay, and there's no real proof of it. And he goes, well, there's more. I just can't share it with you right now. They all fucking say that. I don't believe it. I saw them.
As you can see from the clips, that video was actually one of our first chats we had, because if you're that observant, you would have seen Russ has actually had a haircut since then. You can see we need to explain each element of this a little bit more, and we need to add in other people to confirm or dispute some of the rumours. But I thought I just left some of the clips in which I thought were quite important, and some of the ones we're working on. But see you next week.